There are many bad openings out there, like the Scholar's Mate or the London system. Take that, London players. But nothing compares to the horror that I have just created. But how does it get worse than the London, you may ask? Well, I made 3 of the worst openings, and I'll show you the games that I won with them and even reveal how much elo points I've gained using these openings, starting with the Queeens Gambit. Now you may be thinking, the Queens Gambit? Isn't that already an opening going d4, d5, c4? But my friend, you could not be any more wrong. The move starts with e4, e5, then bringing out the queen to f3. Wait a minute, isn't this setting up to be a Scholar's Mate? Well, you could not be any more wrong again. Then on the very next move, you sacrifice the queen. Why? Because it's called the Queen's Gambit for a reason. But what if he blocks with the knight though? Well, you take the knight anyway, because the knight is worth more than the pawn, so just take it. In this game, after sacrificing my queen, I was going for a fork, but then the black queen protected the square. But then, I found a beautiful sacrifice, bishop b5, attacking the queen, and if he takes, becomes a royal fork. And surprisingly, he took my bishop, and behold the beauty. After a few moves, I had the lead in material despite giving my queen away a few moves ago. But this is where I got too cocky. After winning the knight, I thought I have forked the king and the rook, so I pre-moved, then yeah. Then he finds bishop h3, setting up a checkmate somehow. And this is where he messed up big time. After getting out of the checkmate, he moves his bishop away, and then I checked him, and he is losing that rook no matter what. Then after a couple of moves, I checked him again with the rook behind his king once more. And now the move should have been bishop c7, blocking the attack and defending the king and rook. But he moved his king out the way, losing the other rook, and I eventually revived the queen and managed to checkmate him after a couple of moves. Moving on to number 2, the American Gambit. This opening begins with a4 h4, the crab opening. Then proceeding to move both rooks into the battlefield and sacrificing them. Can you guess where I got inspiration for this gambit? The game starts where I brought both rooks out, and I already lost one of them immediately. I managed to bring the other rook to the 7th rank, but there was no one there to take him. Then black eats my pawn with its queen, setting up a checkmate on f2 with its knight. So I decided to sacrifice the rook on f7 because it wouldn't be the American Gambit without losing both towers. And just when I thought the second rook was about to die, his next move was queen f2, and he actually thought it was game over, but little did he know a tower would come flying back. And because of that, I managed to get the queen and the knight in that exchange. After a couple of moves, I set up a double attack on the rook and the knight, and it seems that the black king loved his knight more, moving it away from danger and losing his rook on f8. More pieces were traded off, and then I saw hope in winning this game. Check. King can only go down or right because I'm blocking the diagonals. Check. The black king is losing space to run. More checks. Black is thinking of queening, but unfortunately, checkmate came first where he didn't see mate in 1. And the last opening, the ZigZag. The ZigZag is a pretty straightforward opening that starts with all pawns moving to light squares, making a zigzag line and rendering the light square bishop completely useless.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
The game starts where I use my first 8 moves on pawns, and they actually all survived. After some trading, I attack his queen with h4, and he takes with the knight, and this is where I messed up, hanging the pawn on g6. But then he takes the other pawn, not realizing that he hung his queen. But I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for a checkmate in this position. And after a while, realizing I couldn't see a mate, I decided to take the queen instead. After more shuffling, I sacrificed my bishop to fork the king and the rook, winning more material. But even after that, I still couldn't see any mate in sight. After a few more checks, I decided to bring my rook closer to deliver the mate, and that's when I spotted checkmate using the zigzag opening, wasting the first 8 moves on pawns. And this is it, the big reveal, how much elo points I've gained from using these openings. Wait, I lost 150 elo points? These may have been some of the worst openings ever, but to see some of the best openings played by grandmasters, check out my video here about 5 powerful chess players and their openings. See you there!